This is ST-321, code clearance blue. We're starting our approach to deactivate the security shield.
Hi, I'm Paul and I'm with my mate James and welcome to Code Clearance Blue, a show where we discuss all things Star Wars from our home here in the UK.
We would be honoured if you would join us.
I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, welcome everybody to a new episode of Code Clearance Blue. I'm James. Over there is Paul.
Hello.
He's back again. Can't get rid of the guy.
No, just too keen.
Loving a bit of Star Wars, isn't you, mate? You love it.
Love a bit of Star Wars. Just loads of it at the minute.
Shout out to Star Wars. Decent.
Yeah, exactly. Assuming that's why you're watching, listening.
Indeed. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Do get involved. We're on YouTube and TikTok under Code Clearance Blue. We're on Twitter as well, or X if you so prefer, at UK Star Wars Pod. Do drop us a line. Be interesting to get some points of view, or if you want us to discuss any topics or anything along those lines, let us know and we'll do our best to endeavour. But for now, we are going to continue our odyssey within the world of Andor, Series 2, and we're going to be discussing Episode 9 in this episode of Code Clearance Blue. Can I say the word Episode too many times? Does it get confusing?
It's a lot of episodes, that's why.
It's a lot of episodes, mate. Star Wars has got a lot of episodes, to be honest.
Yeah. And what's the title? Do you know what the title of this one was?
The title of this one was Mon Mothma Drops a Bollock. Something, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It was Welcome to the Rebellion.
Powerful.
Yeah, what a great line.
Powerful. If you haven't seen the episode yet, we will be spoiling it. So
yeah, double spoiling it.
I mean, we should probably say that ahead of every episode review, to be honest.
I know, but you just assume when we label it episode 7 review, episode 8 review. I mean, you know, I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? And
especially because
read the gump.
A lot of our reviews come out about a week after it's been out as well. So you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Still on the next batch. Yeah, still catching up because they're giving us a film every week.
Exactly. But I've got to say, I think for my money, I think this was probably the best episode out of the block of 3 that we got. I don't know how you feel.
This was fantastic. Like the way it sort of built up, the way it was so well sort of intertwined with all the different stories going on. This had a very Star Wars about it, and and also it was quite just her speech was very powerful, really good, and felt like this is the beginning of where we know as Rogue One and Star Wars New Hope. You know what I mean? Like it sort of felt like the beginning of all that. So yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? So I think we start off with basically the Empire blaming everyone else for what happened on Gorman but themselves. And
because it starts off with within the Senate and like them arresting the Gorman guys, remember?
Yeah, I think he has a little chat with Mon Mothma first, doesn't he? Or was that in the...
He does. That was in the previous episode. Yeah, that was in episode 7, I think.
Right.
Chat. Right. And then we sort of see like Bale sort of going through, like, what's going on? And it's like, stand back, I'm a senator. You know, you're sort of hearing this guy being arrested. And then, he's got like, he looks like one of the bad guys in Superman 2, doesn't he? Remember the guy with the beard in Superman 2? The black costume.
And just to tie that into Star Wars, that's played by Terence Stamp, who...
Terence Stamp is also...
Chancellor Valorum, who I've got no confidence in him, by the way, just...
No, it's a shame.
In case people were wondering.
Done with a bit of Valorium, you know, taking control of all this. But
Valorium, isn't that what they're trying to mine on Gorman, isn't it?
Yeah. And Bale and Mon Mothma have a chat, like, there's no telling what the Emperor's going to do. He's capable of this, what's going on. And, she's saying, look, we need your help. And he's like, look, we need to speak out. And he's sort of like, yes, you're right, but I can't do it, at the moment. I'll join you in a year's time. Yeah, we need to continue with the plan,
Yeah, Bale's basically saying that he'll be like a hostage sort of thing, like by sort of keeping face by being at the Senate still and like pretending as if he's got no knowledge of anything to do with anything. And then but obviously still working, from the inside the Senate to maybe try and change people's minds and stuff. But yeah, Mon's just like, this might be the time for me to speak up now, and then I'll
Yeah,
have to leg it, basically.
you do it. I can set you up, and
Yeah, exactly.
I have to stay. Yeah, he wants to stay. He wants to buy time, doesn't he?
Your man Bale had quite a big.
Dragons already.
Your man Bale had quite a big part in this one, didn't he? Actually,
He did. Yeah, I mean, this guy is pretty good. He's the actor who sort of steps in for Jimmy. I thought he was very good. He played him really well. Particularly when she does her speech a little bit later on. And sort of seeing his reaction. And
Benjamin Bratt, just to give.
It'd be interesting. What do you think, right? When they blow up Alderaan, do you think he's still at the Senate, or do you think he'd be on Alderaan, or do you think he'd be on Yavin?
I don't
Do we
know.
lose him?
I really don't know, mate. I really don't know. Obviously, it'd be more tragic if he was on Alderaan at the time. They can't really bring him back, because by the time we get to sort of, I don't know, like maybe Mando era, but like certainly not the sequel trilogy, because he'd be dead of old age by then, surely. Like,
Yeah. Mando would be an old man, wouldn't he?
yeah, like proper like old man. I don't know if he'd be on the planet or not. I mean, I suppose because it's open, they could bring him back in some form or other, even if it's like a cartoon thing or whatever. I don't know, but it's interesting. Isn't it really interesting to think that in that scene? No, in the scene in Revenge of the Sith, after they crash land back onto Coruscant, and there's a scene where they all walk off with like Palpatine and Mace Windu, and then there's like politicians and other people there and stuff, and then Anakin is like walking along talking to Bale, and Bale becomes like the adoptive father of his daughter.
Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
blew my mind. I thought that in the cinema when I watched it last week. I was like, holy shit, they're kind of semi-related in a way.
Yeah, it is, man, isn't it? So, then we have, I think, Andor in the shop getting his new identity, which is still Ronnie Scott, whatever his name is. He gets his dagger. You've seen that sort of like cool dagger he's sort of been given, and he gets his new credentials to break into the Senate.
That's right. Yeah, he's going to be a medium.
And then Andor's like, I can't do this anymore. It's fucking too much. With Gorman yesterday, fucking seeing everyone get massacred. Obviously, he got away.
That's it.
How he got away again?
But yeah, he's like, this is going to be the last thing I'm doing. Then I'm out. And he sort of says to Bix, doesn't he? Like, I'll do this one more, and then me and you can skedaddle.
Yeah.
Go and find somewhere quiet. It's always to find somewhere quiet in it when people want to run away in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Kind of the equivalent of going to either Manchester or Portugal in EastEnders.
Right, yeah. You should just go to Navarro. You know what I mean?
Give you a lovely tract of land.
Yeah, nice bit of land.
Overlooking the hot springs. Beautiful.
Yeah. And then it sort of cuts back to Mon Mothma's office, where that geezer finds there's a little listening device.
Yeah.
In her office.
And we find out that geezer is actually part of Luthen's team, isn't it?
Luthen's team, yeah. That's a little bit later, isn't it?
Yeah, she's just like, how long has it been? And he's like, 2 years. She's like, okay, you're dismissed immediately.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's been a pleasure.
I say a little device. It was quite a big device, wasn't it?
It was a pretty big listening device, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be able to listen. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. It's got a range.
She
destroys it. Yeah. And then geezer.
The geezers in the Imperial IT department are just like, we've lost a signal.
Yeah, lost signal.
Well, there's no problem on our end. I swear it takes about 10 minutes for them to be like, maybe something's happened to the transmitter. It's like, you think?
It does take ages, isn't it? Because he has to go through the protocol. He has to go to IT to check to see if there's anything wrong with the transmitter. IT obviously take fucking couple of days anyway, don't they? To do anything. Whenever you get IT involved. And then they just turn it on and off again. No, it's not our end. And then they realise, hang on a minute, there must be a problem with the transmitter.
There's a very slim chance it's been discovered.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That was great, wasn't it?
But yeah, no one wants to sort of take responsibility for it. But yeah,
Yeah, because then like Luthen appears in this episode, doesn't he? And he finds out that undercover ginger guy tells him that there's a problem with the extraction team that Bale's sorted out from Mon Mothma. And he's like, I've just learned that the team that are going to get you out after your speech is compromised. I'm going to send one of my guys along to like get you out. And
that's when they meet up outside, isn't it? And she's practicing her speech then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and she's like, "How did you know I'll be out on the plaza?" And it's because old matey boy was like, "Why don't you go and practice on the plaza?"
Erskine,
yeah.
Yeah, what a great name.
Yeah, fucking brilliant. And then he's just like, like obviously Erskine's gone to Luthen and told him where she'll be and everything. So it's just like, and poor Mon in this episode doesn't know if she's coming or going, does she?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't know who to trust and who to do. Because that's obviously when Luthen says there'll be someone waiting for you. We have many friends in the galaxy or whatever.
Yeah, he does the old code word, isn't it? I've got friends everywhere.
Yeah, I've got friends everywhere.
That classic one. But they end up having a bit of a fallout, don't they? And it's because she brings up her mate who got driven off the cliff or whatever, and after the wedding. Do you know what I mean? She's like, it's been ages since I've heard from Tim, whatever his name is. And Luthen's just like, well, she's like, you made that decision very quickly. And he's like, well, you got to do what you got to do. We're making a rebellion. What do you want? And she's like, yeah. I don't know if I like that, really, to be honest. But then so obviously she finds out Erskine is part of Luthen's team, and she doesn't really trust Luthen that much anymore. So she fires him, and then.
Well, do you remember though that little comment? Do you remember Tay Comore, my banking friend?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Think about it. Yeah.
She's like, she was just like, that happened very quickly, didn't it? All of that. And he's just like, well, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So she's now thinking, well, what if I make a slight misstep or something? Are you going to just like take me out as well? So
take me,
a bit naughty, innit? But so the next day comes and obviously they're having a bit of a Senate meeting or whatever. And Cassian obviously like lands on Coruscant and stuff. And sort of flashes his press credentials and everything. Have all been there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Loved all that.
Yeah, really good. And
Geezer's just like, there's no room in the. Have you been assigned a pod? No, well, best I can do. You're just floating today. Best I can do, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's fine. He goes in the press bit, doesn't he? And but I love all this bit because we're seeing all the behind the scenes of the Senate.
Yeah,
you're seeing all these corridors and even the outside bit. So that's a piece in Spain. That's where they filmed it all. That sort of all that outside architecture, white architecture, and it connects the Senate offices to the actual Senate. That bit with the lake.
Okay, yeah.
That's what that sort of bit's meant to be. Where we see them running later on.
Oh. Nice.
But that's all been shot in Spain. But yeah, I mean, this bit where they're all in the corridors and getting all the security checks and like checkpoint after checkpoint, and they say, you're gonna have to float about this time, and then you're seeing the other guys, Bale's people, who are a little bit more sinister, and which obviously adds to our a little bit of drama. So they're sort of getting prepared as well.
Yeah, so they're getting prepared, and we don't know, do we, at the start, which one or any of them are like bent. Basically, we just think that it's one or two, or maybe even all of them, sort of thing. But then there's a little scene, isn't there, when they're kind of hiding in a storage room or something, and then the woman
it's a bit later,
waits until she's well, I say alone. I mean, the geezer was only literally round the corner by the brooms or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, come in. I'm using my evil intercom.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But she asked Bale, doesn't he, at this point, where he's like, do you trust them? Of course I do. Do you know them? No, I'm not allowed to know them.
Exactly, yeah.
Which I think gives her a little bit of a hint,
Yeah, of course. But then even still, when Cassian turns up later, she doesn't know who he is either. Do you know what I mean?
So, no, until he says the password. And then
paranoia, man. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I know, because you've got to get out of this fucking building.
Yeah.
But he does say next year I'll see you in Yavin. So that sets up the next 3, doesn't it? Because it's
Yeah,
the
that
later.
yeah. He uses
So
that as like a. But we've
I assume that
skipped
it's a
over
big wide shot.
we've skipped over the speech though, haven't we? We haven't.
Oh no, we haven't got there yet. No, we haven't got the speech. This is just all the bit before with Bale and
Yeah,
thingy,
but I
and
mean,
then
when
we've got.
Cassian says all that when he's like taking her out of the building and
Oh
everything,
yeah.
isn't it? That's what I mean.
Oh right, yeah. And then because like obviously Cassian, I think. So after Bale, I've written down there. So after Bale and Mon Mothma have that discussion scene next year, then we see Andor go through the corridors and all sort of get prepared. Because obviously they're not in the chamber just yet. And I think
Yeah.
they've got but on the TV screens you're seeing these like random aliens say, "I can't believe the insurgents yesterday. It was unbelievable. The savagery attack of the Gormans," and you know what I mean. So like all these sort of senators coming up, and then we go back into the Senate where we see a big fat bloke, going, "I had a citizen yesterday die," all just pro emperor,
Yes.
all like believe in the propaganda, all believe in the whole, all saying the right things,
Yeah, or been paid to say it. You never know,
or being paid. Yeah, exactly. And then that's when your scene that you just mentioned, where they go to the cupboard and she takes him out because she speaks to ISB, doesn't she, on the old comms link?
That's right. Yeah, she talks. Yeah, and then the geezer's like, "What are you talking to?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Let me have a look at that." And then she's like, picks up the bowl and like clangs him, and it's just like, bong, takes him out.
This
and
is
then
where this starts. This is where the tension starts, doesn't it? Because you've got conversation between like that little guy and then we've got an agent on the phone, and then we've got cut to the senators going, "I can't believe I had Gorman." Then you got Andor running around, and the music's slowly building, and it's all getting quite good now. I think this
it's
is
really good.
really good.
And do you know what? Right, it still really works as like a high piece of tension drama, even though we know Mothma, Cassian, Bale, like they're all fine, really.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's more the how and the why rather than the what, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So even though they've got plot armor, it's still like, how are they going to get out and
yes,
what happens and stuff. It's like, yeah, you're right. It's really good. And then so it's building up, and then Bale, like they're just like, oh, we allow the representative of Alderaan to the floor, and then he's like,
so there's like an older lady. So I don't know how this works, but the older lady goes, as a senior senator, there's a point of order to address. I'm now going to go to Alderaan, so then he's a senior senator above her or something.
Yeah.
Clearly, like there is a hierarchy, and then he talks about like law 4.2576 in the Senate book, or protocols or whatever it was, Article 17, whatever it was. And like they found a way, because obviously at the beginning of this app, the guy with the bald head guy who works for ISP says, they won't let her talk, so confident in that empire way.
Well, yeah, because I think even back at the IT place, like the IT place of the Senate, they were just like, the agenda's been set and no one else is speaking that's not on the list and everything, so she can't do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She can't do anything, exactly, yes.
Yeah, the thing for me about Bale was like he was really clever because he kind of said, well, I heard other senators describing what happened on Gorman as an emergency. So if it is indeed an emergency, I am going to enact the emergency protocol, like whatever it was, 17239 or whatever, and all that, and supersede my position on the floor to the senator from Chandila.
Yes, and that sets it all up lovely.
Sets it all up lovely. Now, the thing I've got paranoid about is when, like, because when they go in the pod and then the pod goes out into the open,
yeah,
and they're very exposed. When she did the speech, I was just thinking to myself, they could just cut the power to the pod, surely, and just leave her hanging there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
True. Yeah, that's true.
Like if you're thinking sort of like literally about things, like why couldn't they just keep her sort of on that pod and leave her there, and just
floating about?
Yeah, just come and nick her.
Yeah, because they weren't. I suppose. Yeah. I mean, I suppose they just want it as an accident. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, even when he orders, well, why have you not cut the power? And then he's doing the password again. That was part of that great tension, wasn't it? We've all done it. We've all forgot our password, right?
Oh yeah.
And then the two technicians come up and it's like, "Oh, you told us to change it." "No, not today. Not only today. It's been like this for all years." "Oh, it was in our security logbook."
Yeah. We could open it with the key.
They give each other a little cheeky look, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. See, there's no. I think I saw someone online say there's no small part in a rebellion or something with a photo of them two. Do you know what I mean? I was like, very good, because they were like, well, we could open it with the key, and he's like, well, get the key then, and they're like, oh, it's on the 32nd floor or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
in the office. Oh, and he runs off. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
it was good, but I must admit, like, her speech was very powerful, in universe, and also if you put it into context of like what's going on in sort of our daily lives as well. It was very well written.
Yeah.
And I think that Tony Gilroy, I read somewhere that Tony Gilroy kind of asked Genevieve O'Reilly if she wanted to do a speech, because obviously they had to be very mindful of the version in Rebels.
Of course, yeah.
Because you know that episode where she does the broadcast and then the ghost whip her out.
That's exactly after this, isn't it?
Yeah.
They set it up on this episode, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much. They did it really well. They were just like, we're going to do our own one because she was like, I'd love to do like a big grandized speech and everything. And they were like, okay, leave it with us, sort of thing. But obviously they had to be mindful that existed as well in canon. So it's like, how do we get around it? Oh, I know. We'll just make her do 2 speeches.
Yeah, we'll do one to the Senate and to the
and then one broadcast to the galaxy. Sort of, yeah, exactly. Because they do eventually cut the power, don't they? But I just thought it was great where she like, what was the line? It was like, she was like, the death of the truth is the ultimate victory of evil or something. And I was just like, given what happened in terms of like them creating all the propaganda around Gorman and everything, and then all these other senators stepping in and being like, yeah, it was an outrage. They were bang out of order and got what they deserved and stuff. And she's just like, no. Like, we need to have clear thought and clear conscience on this sort of stuff, you know? And what she was just like, I think she called it genocide, didn't she? She was like, yes.
Yeah, this is what happened yesterday was genocide.
Yeah.
Which is the sort of the start of it. And then she goes, if truth happens, and then she just keeps going on, and then she's like, but if the monster lives, the monster, and then she just gets it in just in time, which is fantastic drama.
Yeah.
Emperor Palpatine. Great editing.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Yeah, she was just like, the monster will come for us all. That monster is Emperor Palpatine, and then it's just like cut, bosh. And you're like, oh, she got it. She said it. She actually got it out. Which is really cool. And then obviously she docks back into the pod dock and gets out because she's like, I know I'm going to have to like leave straight away. And then Cassian's just sort of loitering in the corridor, isn't he? Like waiting for her to come out. And like, that's just what I mean by poor her. Like she goes into the corridor and he just wanders up to her and he's just like, you got to come with me. And she's like,
yeah.
Oh, are you part of Bale's crew? He's like, no. She's like, what do you mean? Like, I have friends everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, you're part of that crew, right.
And then to your point, like they get into the lift, and then she's like, how do I know I can trust you? And he's just like, I'm mates with Luthen. She's like, right. And he's like, I live on Yavin. Right. Okay. Yeah. And I know this, I know that. And she said, by the end of the lift ride, she's just like, okay, I think I can trust this guy.
Yeah. He was one of the original crew of the heist as well. You mentioned that, didn't he?
Oh yeah. Aldani. Yeah.
Off his whole CV. I don't know. Yeah. Where's my CV?
Do you want to connect on LinkedIn? Do you want to connect, and then you'll see everything?
Exactly.
But that was really good, wasn't it? And then so like they're walking around, and then like they get to the lobby, and then like the Bale's crew, like the good guy and the bad woman, like he's just like, where's so and so? And she's like, oh, he told me to meet you down here.
Yeah. And then Mon Mothma's guy spot them, doesn't he? So he knows there.
Yeah, so Erskine's knocking about. Yeah, good old Erskine, man. He got fired, but he still stepped up.
Still loyal.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Yeah. And then obviously, so they get into like the reception area, and then like the bad woman goes up to Mon Mothma and she's like, "Oh, I'm here to escort you, like Bail Organa or whatever." And Cassian's just like, "No, back away." And Mon Mothma's like, "Oh," like that, and then. I don't know why, but she pulls her blaster out, doesn't she? And she's just like, no, the senator's coming with me now, sort of thing. and like she's under arrest or something like that, and Cassian's just like, see you later.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just does his usual trick
So
of just,
good. And then she's so shocked about, you've killed that woman. And then that's when he says the line, welcome to the rebellion. Now she knows what she's involved with.
She's only been funding it for fucking 5 years.
I know, but she has no idea. She hasn't got her hands dirty. She hasn't seen any of this stuff.
No, that's true. That's true. And then old Erskine's just like, don't worry, I'll make sure no one follows you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as they're walking along the sort of like the plaza between, like you say, the offices and the Senate and everything, old driver's been sitting outside this whole time being like, nothing to report yet. And then
back yet? No, not yet. She's been there all night. Like, he must be knackered.
Yeah,
There's that great shot though of him. This is a little bit earlier though, where he's like above him and like looks through his roof and he's like got the fucking pistol there on his seat.
He's ready just in case, yeah. And they're just like, right, well, let us know when something happens. And then he looks out the window and he sees them walking along, doesn't he? So like he goes rushing up those. How many stairs? Who built that?
That was Spain, somewhere in Spain. That
who designed that?
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Geezer, I mean, you know, I'm not exactly the most svelte thing, but like he was, he must have been knackered by the time he got up all then.
Running up, yeah,
he was proper pegging it. But when he gets up there, obviously, Mon Mothma's just like, oh my god, that's my driver. He's an ISB plant.
Yeah,
he's like, what's his name? What? What's his name? Oh, Clovis, come over here. Bang.
Yeah. We've got her.
We've got her. And he's like, what? Oh, bang. See you later. Another one gone.
What a great piece of fucking great idea to pretend,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so quick.
Yeah, no.
Oh, my driver. It's like, come on, you need to trust me.
Yeah. You've seen me straight up murder 2 people in cold blood.
Yeah, come on.
I'm on your side.
And they jump in her car and she's never fucking...
Right turn, Clyde.
Yeah, Clyde. Claude. Is it Claude?
Claude?
Claude, is that his name? The driver.
Who?
The driver.
No, Clovis, I think it was, wasn't it?
Was it Clovis?
Although I thought there was a Clovis Mandalorian in the Clone Wars. I'm pretty sure she said it was Clovis. Something that sounded like that, anyway, maybe. But anyway, yeah. No, I was thinking of old Clint Eastwood and the monkey.
Oh, yeah.
Right turn, Clyde.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they speed off and then they go to the old safe house, don't they?
House, yeah. She knows where he knows his way around.
Yeah, Mon Mothma's like, you've been here before, haven't you? It's like, yeah, I stayed here for a while, Just kicked it. And Wilman's injured though, isn't he?
Yeah, Wilman's injured. And he needs to see a doctor. So
yep.
That's sort of where the story goes with even more. I was really hoping that we would see a little bit of the ghost, do you know what I mean? Like, but they are keeping this so separate from everything else.
Yeah.
The fact that we haven't seen Palpatine, we haven't seen Target, we haven't seen anyone,
See, the thing is,
we've easily seen like fucking Princess Leia and shit, like,
Yeah, Leia more difficult given obviously what happened and that. But if Tony Gilroy thought it was too sort of heavy to include Palpatine in this, there's no way he was going to put like Hera and Kanan and Zeb and all that lot in it. Do you know what I mean?
No way. A glimpse of the ship. I just wanted a glimpse of the ship of her being taken to the show. It just joins up with with that sort of Rebels episode really nicely.
Yep. Do you know Palpatine could have been in that Senate hearing, sitting there. Just sitting there. He didn't even have to do anything. He could just be sitting there watching it play out. And then when she says Emperor Palpatine at the end, just have a close up of him going like, getting pissed or whatever. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But hey ho, it's still good. It's still good.
Well, it's very close to when we see in The New Hope, when they're having their meeting with Darth Vader and sort of Todd comes in and goes, the Senate, we don't have to worry about them anymore, or whatever he says. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's all building up to.
He says, the Imperial Senate will no longer be of any concern to us. I've just heard word from the Emperor's Council that he's dissolved the Senate permanently. And the geezer's just like, well, how will he maintain control without the bureaucracy?
Yeah.
So, all right, son, calm down.
All right.
He's a Sith Lord.
This space station. Yeah.
I suggest we use it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
She sort of, they escape. They're in the old, and then we sort of follow the Yavin story. Then you can sort of go back to Yavin, get the hospital, get Wilmot sort of fixed up a bit, and then and then we see the last sort of part, which was the emergence of K2.
Well, just before we get there, though, so to make sure that they didn't step on Rebels' storyline, obviously they get off the ship, and then Draven's just like, "Oh, we've got word that Mon Mothma's going to do another speech."
Yeah, Gold
Squadron are going to take her, like escort her out or whatever.
Yeah, just to tie it up.
Shout out to Gold Squadron.
Yeah,
good bunch of lads.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Do you want to come and watch it in my office?" And he's like, "Nah, I've got something else to be getting on with." And then, like you say, we get
the next
K2.
mission.
Yeah. And then, it's just at the end again, the poor engine technician geezer's just like, "Do you want these goggles?"
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, "I'd rather have a blaster."
One thing we have missed out is actually the message from Biggs.
Oh shit! Yeah, of course.
I can't remember when that happened. That happened somewhere in this episode, did it?
It must have been when he got. It must have been when he got back before the K2 stuff, because obviously he found the note.
They go to sleep together then, because that's when he says, "I'm fucking leaving. I'm done with this rebel action. Tomorrow we'll do it." And then she knows that his heart is probably. I don't know. I mean, do you think that it's because she's like, I can't just hang about all day worrying about you when you fuck off, and I'm in the jungle.
Yeah.
I need to just start again.
And the fact that she knows, and also the healer kind of said, "Oh, his future is with the rebellion. Like, he's going to be so important to it." So she knows that he's got to stay there. And I guess if she thinks if she removes herself from his life, he will just stay there because he's got nothing else really.
Because it'd be, I thought she was gonna die, and that would sort of add to his anger. But in actual fact, it's a nicer story that she just bombs off.
Yeah, but it's sad though, because she's like, "Oh, when it's all done and dusted, we'll come and find each other again, and we can do all the things we wanted to do." And it's just like, have you not seen that Blu-ray?
Yeah, I'll see what happens. It's like, so that was quite a nice scene, really. So at least she doesn't get blown up. Do you know what I mean? At least she sort of just sidesteps out of it.
Yeah.
She's gone now. Cyril's gone.
Yeah.
So obviously the other characters are still around, so we'll see how that goes on. And and like you say, he was kind of offered some goggles with K2, and then he just comes out with a great line, doesn't he? He's like, "I don't think you need to point that to me." You know whatever it was.
Yeah, he's like, "Would you mind kindly not pointing that thing at me?"
Yeah.
And it's like, right, the boys are back together. Here we go.
Back together.
Beautiful.
And
so we've got
we have 3 episodes now, aren't we, with him?
3 episodes left, mate. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. As I say, just that little theory when we spoke about episode 7 that Cassian might have to take out Luthen maybe could be quite unexpected and surprising turn,
Well, the thing is that Andor discovers, as we know in Rogue One, from that guy that he kills in the alleyway.
Yeah.
That's where the weapon. That's the first murmurings of a weapon. So I don't know if, like the last step is going to be about this weapon or about this thing that they're not called it a weapon, or whether that they're going to leave that to Rogue One.
A planet killer.
A planet, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we've still got. There's a shot from the trailer, isn't there, of Krennic looking at the Death Star?
Yeah.
So that's got to come into play.
Yeah, so I reckon they'll start talking about it, but I'm talking about whether the rebels, how they'll start hearing about it. Do you know what I mean? Because, or because it's meant to go right up, or even if it's more about the fact that there's a scientist and he has a daughter.
Well, this is it, isn't it? Yeah.
Camp,
Yeah. Well, there's got to be some sort of talk of there's a guy on the rings of Kafrane that's got information about like a super weapon or something.
Yeah.
And also Draven maybe has got to be like, we've got to track down the daughter of Galen Erso, and we've got a lead or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She might be using an alias, something like that,
Yeah.
So there's got to be a bit of that action going on.
Here she's in this Labour camp.
Yeah, someone online that I read said, wouldn't it be cool if there was like an epilogue scene of Bix going back and picking up B2 or whatever? Do you know what I mean? Or going back to B2 and just being like, all right.
Hello, Wally. Yeah, no. That's funny, yeah. So it'd be it's gonna be great sort of finale. Straight into Rogue One.
Yeah, I agree. They did say it bumps right up to Rogue One, so I mean, yeah, that's going to be good, man. I wonder if we are going to get like Mads Mikkelsen and maybe Riz Ahmed and stuff, because like obviously he gives the plans to him, doesn't he, to like smuggle them out. Yeah. So I wonder if we might get a little bit of that action.
See that actually happening, yeah.
Yeah,
or even Mig sort of recording that message, that they see.
Oh yeah.
Jin sees when she's, with on Jeddah.
Yes, yeah.
So
yeah,
it
man.
Could be any of that stuff. Just building up to it, it'd be great.
Yeah, it would be good. But so far, I say 9 out of 9, pretty decent. No very real good missteps or anything like that. So
no, it's been very, very good.
It's been good. Let us know your thoughts on the series so far and what you expect for the finale on Twitter at UK Star Wars Pod. Or on YouTube, if you just want to comment under any of the videos. We do look at everything, so give us a shout and we'll certainly include it in the next episode. But one more week, mate, and then we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Absolutely. Thanks again for listening and joining and watching.
Yep,
we are slowly getting there.
Yeah, we are all good. Going to try and get some more interviews on the go once a lot of this stuff is all quietened down, but that's all for the future. But for now, on behalf of Paolo and myself, we'll say thanks for tuning in and may the force be with you all.
Starting our approach, deactivate the security shield.
Security deflective shield will be deactivated when we have confirmation of your code transmission. Stand by.